Hi everyone, welcome to my presentation. Thank you so much for making it. This presentation is going to be on product analytics for a clinical decision support system, which I did during my time at EBSCO Information Services when I worked in the customer success and analytics team. So just an overview, like an agenda of what today is going to be. I'm just going to introduce my internship, give you an overview of where I worked, which division, what we do, what customer success and analytics is, what a clinical decision support is, and what the products of what Dynamed is, my overall internship timeline, and what the different projects that I did, an overview of my projects, and then I'll end on the challenges and lessons learned. So just to start us off, so I interned at EBSCO Information Services in the clinical decision side, and it's a team, it's two teams, it's customer success and analytics are two teams, but I was at the intersection of this. So I worked with people from both sides, and I was managed by Tyler, and Tyler is on this call. And I worked at EBSCO from May 23rd to August 5th, so during the summer. So I'd also like to say that everything that I'm going to be presenting today is just a high-level overview of what I worked on, because the data that I did work with during the internship was internal. So just be a high level of what I did, the processes that I went through. So just to go over what customer success and analytics is, especially customer success, because I don't think that people really know what that is. I didn't really know what it was going into my internship. So just from a general, like what customer success is, it's the effort a business takes to help its customers be their most successful, both with its product and in its own business operations. So this would translate into making sure that the users who are using your product are getting the most out of what they're paying for, that they're able to use it for the things that they want, maybe even for more than they realize that the product could do. And this in turn will help them, will also help the business grow more, because if they love the product so much, they might tell more people about it and you could gain customers from that. So it helps both parties. It helps the company see problems before the customer even has them. So that's what customer success would be. And analytics, and in this case, product analytics, is the process of analyzing how users engage with a product or a service. So this data is then used to improve and optimize a product or a service. So when both these teams are combined, it would be how we use user and product data to then help to then find issues that maybe the user might be having, but they aren't even seeing it. Like, we are seeing their usage and we're seeing how we could maybe reach out to them and help them use the product better, which would then help them and also help us in our business. So the product here is a clinical decision support system called Dynamed. So what is a clinical decision support system? So a clinical decision support system provides clinicians, staff, patients, and other individuals with knowledge and person-specific information that is filtered or presented at appropriate times to enhance health and healthcare. So in this case, we have Dynamed, which is an electronic evidence-based primary care database designed to provide the most useful point-of-care health information available. So the data that's on Dynamed is it's written by clinicians for clinicians, and it's very it's verified, it's updated continuously. So if you see like a doctor when yes, they've like studied a lot, they know everything, but sometimes they need like a quick refresher, just a quick, like they need to see what is going on, what if they just need some quick and fast information, then Dynamed would be a great place for them to go visit. So this is what a clinical decision support system would look like. So overall, during my internship, I did a couple of things. So I started on May 23rd, and about for the first week, I was onboarding. I was meeting different people in different teams. I was getting to know the different softwares that are used. And then leading into June, I started on one of two mini projects. So I was doing analytics for a B2C subscription model. And then my second project was analytics for media usage on Dynamed. And my main project, which was defining a successful customer, which I then ended my internship by presenting internally at the company. So during all the work that I did, so through all three projects, I observed that for the most part, all the processes and the different steps that I was taking were quite similar, was quite the same, even if they were in a different context to each other. So it would always start with me understanding the business requirements. So Tyler would tell me what I'd be working on, and I just keep asking him questions on the different doubts that I had, or the different ways that like he would have more knowledge on things and how he could help me, and how I can then translate that into helping the business or helping a certain team. So I would start with understanding the business requirement, and then take that and then go look for data. So I'd look at the different databases that I had access to, the different people I could talk to get me more access to some data. So that would be my data discovery side of things. I would also then go and validate the data. So sometimes this would just involve me talking either to Tyler or to Lauren about where the data came from, if they know that it's correct, if it's just someone entering data, if it came from a machine, if it was recorded. I would also sometimes run my own tests, like if it was on the product analytics software, I would run my own tests to see how it's collecting data if I was using the product. So that would be my data validation side. So once I did that, I would go into data cleaning. So I would prepare a spreadsheet by cleaning out the missing data, the ambiguous data, whatever I could find. I would then go through the data to see if I could just by looking at the spreadsheet, see if I could see some patterns, do a few visualizations to see if I could see something. And then feature engineering here would be just looking for which parts of the data, so which columns could give me the most information. So which columns I would then use in my analysis, like which parts would be the most accurate, which parts would, when I did visualize it, gave me some actual information. So that would be me just choosing which parts of data to use. I would then visualize it better, and then either create a dashboard or present it in the form of a presentation. So I observed that all of the projects that I did follow this on some level. So I just did name this the data analysis lifecycle. So of my two mini projects, so one of them was the analytics for B2C subscriptions. So Dynamed as a whole is usually used by larger like systems. The customers are like hospitals, institutions, libraries. So it's a large system where many people use it, but we're now expanding to like to market also to just individual users. So this is that subscription model. So I was going through the registration web page for the subscription model. So this included me extracting data on the number of visits for each web page, the number of unique users, and then tried to map out when during the registration process users are ending their session. So this included me having to track the flow of access to every web page in that flow. So whether it's coming from the home page to them clicking on subscribe and then looking for which subscription model they want, what the subscription page looks like, what the registration looks like. So I would track all of that, see how users are interacting with those pages, and then look for ambiguities in text or button design that could lead to user drop-offs. If the user can't understand what's going on the page, they may stop using it. They may not go further ahead in that. And then also finished off by creating a dashboard for the product management team and for other external collaborators. And then for my second project, I did do analytics for media usage. And what this is Dynamed does come with pictures when it needs to come with pictures or videos when it needs to. So the editorial team wanted to know when users are clicking on which image or which video. So it comes in different parts of the page. So if so the team wanted to know whether they may be clicking on it when it's in the tab on top, if it's when are they clicking on it in the tab on the corner, or when it's inside all the information. So this may sound very irrelevant, but it does actually make a difference to like see how the user is looking at a page and like how they're assessing it, how they're viewing it, if they are even aware that there are images and videos attached to this page, and when they're more likely to see it, because then you can target that. You can change the way you structure a page according to when, so that users just see it more and actually interact with it. So this included me extracting data on the types of users accessing the images and videos, where in the page the user is more likely to access content. I also assessed if the data was being skewed. So by this, we were trying to see if the user data that I was getting was more so just our editorial team going into Dynamed and racking up views for each thing. So to like filter that out and to just see if it's actually our customers who are going in and looking at what we're looking for. So I then created a dashboard for the editorial team, which included information on which images or videos were being viewed the most and by which type of users, like in which role. Are they doctors? Are they students? Which specialty they're in? Just information on that. And then going into my main project, which was defining a successful customer. This is just overall a very ambiguous, I guess, title project, but it was very interesting. I feel like it brought in a lot of the things that I did just learn by talking to people and by doing the other projects that I did. But it does, I guess, build on, it does lend itself to helping the company maybe decide on some other decisions that they want to make in terms of how they want to analyze their data, or how they want to view if a customer is successful. There is no like right answer to this really, but from what I did, I extracted data from Dynamed's product analytics, such as unique users, topic views, customer particulars like financials, number of clinicians per customer, and then I ran a lot of tests to validate how the software was collecting data on usage, because this wasn't from the individual side. This was from every large scale customer that EBSCO does have, that Dynamed has, and to see how people are interacting, if there are per customer a lot of usage or not. So most of my time did go in just trying to find the right data for this, which I did realize at the end of everything that is most of the most of data analysis work just involves finding the right data, finding accurate data. So that is a lot of what I did here. So I also identified data fields that would provide the most accurate analysis. I identified reasons why certain values could be inaccurate or skewed and could lead to an over or underestimation of usage. And then also identified ways to improve data collection to provide a more comprehensive analysis for like hopefully a better analysis that could be done in the future if we were to collect data in a better way. So yes, then the software that I did use was Turn Zero, which is a customer success software, Amplitude, which is a product analytics software, and just Microsoft Excel for all the analysis that I did. So just to conclude, some of the challenges and lessons learned is that this was my first time working in a corporate setting, and it was different, but it was really great. It was really interesting, and I personally worked with really great people, and I had a great time. I never felt very out of my depth. I could always reach out to people and always ask questions, so that was really great. So coming to just everything else was, I really learned about how messy real world data is, because in school, you're just given really good and structured data that you just have to analyze. You just have to run a couple tests on them and they tell you what they need to tell you. But knowing that about 80% of the job is just finding good, accurate data and then cleaning that data is something that I did not expect to really encounter. Another thing was the importance of questioning the how valid a data source is. So I think I don't think I really questioned the validity before. I would just expect that if it came from a database that it was correct. But now I do tend to question where it came from. I question the process, the pipeline from where it really came, if who else has interacted with the data, things like that. And then the importance of running your own tests to validate the data collection pipeline. There were many meetings that I've had with Tyler where we would just run our own tests on the data and the software to see how it was collecting on his computer, on my computer, to see the differences. And there were always so many differences. So just like knowing that that is a really important part of seeing if your data is accurate. And then also when it comes to presenting and creating dashboards, to tailor how you talk about data and its analysis to your audience and the people that you are talking to, so that they like if someone is in a large organization, not everyone is technically oriented, not everyone knows the words that you use in coming from a tech standpoint. So like knowing how to talk about it in a way that everyone can feel included, everyone can understand, and how important that is. I also learned about the importance of end user experience for a product and a company's success. So like just the overall importance of customer success and how it's important to see and like reach out to the customer and see how they're finding the data and how we could maybe improve from our side. And also just the usefulness of Excel. I did not put much stock into Excel before this. I was very, I would just use it for my like pivot tables and just for general spreadsheet things. But I really learned how important Excel can be and how important VLOOKUP can be. So that was really interesting. And just to end it all off is to always keep asking questions, even if you're in a new environment, especially if you're in a new environment, but even once you've been there for a while, just to keep asking questions, always be curious about what you're working with. And I think that will always help and improve the analysis and what you're working on, and just improve your work in general. So that was everything that I did and learned at EBSCO. So I just wanted to say thank you to Tyler, who's really great manager, and I learned a lot. And also to Lauren Wood Shepherd for always being there to help answer my questions, be there when I had just very stupid questions about data. Jonathan, Mayette, Marielle, and Erica as well for helping me find the internship and for just being very supportive. So I just wanted to say thank you. And yeah, I will take any questions.